In the bottom side of the map, we have Mans, aka RedJams, playing Ro4 in the reds.
Valder.
Valder, that's the one, sorry. And MVAKM up in the top side playing Sedge in the blue. So, I mean, this is like a pretty. There's some very obvious things you can say about this matchup. Valder is definitely going to try and build as much groove early and try and
Yeah,
create an advantage. Sedge wants the
early
longer
versus
game.
late.
Yeah, early versus late. And actually, once Sedge gets late, like, he just chews through all of those swords, right?
Yeah, supposedly.
Like, you know,
uh,
if you get like a dog and it hits a sword, then that sword just dies to Sedge Groove, for example. So, or even sword
yep.
crits as well. Sedge has, you know, got some really nice tools to fight against Valder. And wow, this is a lot of money from MVAKM on this turn. And we're gonna see
Yep.
double knight come out.
Double knight, and that's usually what I do. It's like you don't want to decide on which side to put your knight. Well, just double knight.
And we're gonna see Sedge just gonna walk back, heal up, and yeah, we're seeing this is a pretty standard thing to happen on turn 5 for player 2. They have the knight to get ready to knock down the village, or Sedge to knock down, or the commanders knock down the village, and the sword there to capture. So
Not sure about suiciding the sword this turn. There could have been like way more annoying things you could have done with it.
yeah, but I guess like you don't want to give Valder that cannon fodder.
Yeah, but you could have just suicided next turn if that was the situation, right?
Well, I mean, I guess that's what they decided to go for, so we can't really say
Yeah, I
too
guess.
much else. Yeah, it was just like it's one of those difficult situations to like think up of on the
All right.
fly as well.
Both
So
both going dragon. Really, it's a really strong option on this map. You see all the road in the middle. That's why.
yeah, all the road in the middle, all the road on the side as well. Actually,
Yeah, and actually it covers the knights pretty well because it covers both sides, and because MVAKM didn't like usually you want to swap the positions of the knight and the sword in the top left so that the knight can like crit the village in the bottom left. But MVAKM didn't do that. So the dragon was like free to go somewhere else, which basically happened. They're still sort of even right now.
yeah, and Sedge is pretty close to groove. Like if Sedge just walks down and hits that village in the bottom left, that's groove. Like it doesn't matter if they knock it down or not. Like
Yeah, but then Sedge will take like a few turns to regroup with his army.
yeah,
So
that's
I mean,
true.
at this point, you might as well just walk towards the army now.
Wow, MVAKM is just walking straight up into that center position. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, you got a lot of swords here from Valder that could do damage this turn. And we see a sword go down. We're
Let's
seeing
see.
village capture come in. And I guess well, Jams just kind of has to do something about this left-hand side because they're just going to lose so much economy if they do nothing.
Hmm.
And yeah, Valder takes the balloon, goes on a wee trip.
Yep, going for the knight and the sword in the left. That
Okay.
sword might just like go below the village and capture it.
Yeah, and then yeah, you can just retreat, get somewhere safe. Yeah, and that's what it's gonna do. And Sedge just gonna walk back and be pretty
Although,
safe too.
if they just trade sides, this is a little dangerous for MVAKM because the HQ is there. RedJams could pressure it pretty heavily.
Yeah, but Sedge is gonna have groove any minute now. And like all he needs is like a couple extra units here, and suddenly like you know a mage hits a spear, and that spear just dies. So Sedge is about to become a powerhouse.
Yeah, and Valder did not Does not look like he has a very big lead before Sedge got Groove, which is good for Sedge. Seeing some repositioning in the middle. Trying to see if there's a lethal on Sedge here, but I don't think so.
No, wow, that was a really high roll from the dog, and
Oh, does not get the dog, so maybe there was actually a lethal, but you know, RedJams never gets RNG lethals, so
yeah, that's a bit unfortunate, but now Regiment actually has a really strong position on the stronghold. Night crit is lined up. Actually, double night crit is lined up. Just needs to clear that mage. Alright, and now Sedge, yeah, just gonna use Sedge Groove to kill the dog. Why not?
yeah, free dog.
Yep. Ooh, and Sedge gonna put themselves in a fairly, I would say, unsafe position. There's
Yeah. You just hexed that sword, so it's easier. I mean, I guess no, it would have suicided anyways.
yeah,
Yeah, this
there's,
is looking like Sedge might not survive this.
there's two sword suicides.
I don't think the witch reaches for the hex.
I don't think so either.
Maybe he isn't actually a lethal then.
I guess there isn't too much to follow up after like the sword suicides.
Yeah,
Like neither of the knights were critting, so
it is like only two sides, I guess. And yeah, now RedJams moving away from Sedge Grove, which is usually what happens when a Sedge approaches your army.
yeah, you don't want to give them any opportunity to just kill everything. So, and all MVAKM has to do at this point is just kind of have a really nice position for threatening the army for one turn, and then all of a sudden, like that's game. Like you just kill like a big chunk of your opponent's army. Sedge walks away unscathed, and yeah, it's like not fun times. But Valder's coming back in. He's gonna knock a unit down. Actually gonna hold Groove for the moment.
Yeah, I think that's the second time this game I've seen him like not groove with Valder groove up.
And
First time was to like enter a balloon.
yeah, and it makes sense. Like if you can do something that's better value than just spawning a sword, like killing a sword or killing something else, then it is actually better value to just kill something than to spawn a sword. Oh, what are we gonna see? Are we gonna see a lethal attempt? That is not a lethal attempt.
Yeah, that is just Sedge committing. Which, I mean, as long as he doesn't die here, should be fine. But there is two witches and a bunch of suicides
I
and
think
two
Sedge just
sides.
dies.
Yeah,
I
I
don't really
think
know
Sedge
what the
just
idea
dies.
was there. Yeah, there's even a big mage heal, and that actually allows, yeah, like a couple of like higher health unit suicides. So we got two swords, 15%, double hex.
He could have like crit suicided with Valder too. Maybe he just wants to get a more flashy ending.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna see. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
three
third
sides open.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And MVAKM, honestly, that game was looking fine. Like Jams maybe had a slight lead in terms of killing units, but actually it was
of
pretty even because
material.
he killed a few at the ends in that last turn. All MVAKM needed was like one really good Valder, not Valder chain, Sedge chain, and he just kind of went in. And that honestly looked like the kind of position Sedge wants to be in. Like he wants to be in that kind of position where it turns into a grindier game.
Yeah, it's like you want Sedge to be near the front of your army, but you don't want him to be at the front like what MVAKM did.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the deal was with that, but
uh, they were fine on time too. They both had like over 20 minutes.
yeah. So I don't know, maybe just tournament nerves or frustration or
Yeah, I
Who
mean,
knows?
MVAKM isn't like the most patient player, so I can see why Jam's going for this like long positional repositioning kind of thing. Kind of like I I don't know. It's like it's definitely like I've played MVAKM a few times in ranked, and it definitely feels like when you start doing that, he gets impatient and just goes in, which usually kind of means he loses the game.
Well, it's an unfortunate way to go, but it happens sometimes. So
Yeah.
that's game one going to RedJams. And RedJams also a previous Groove of War champion, so no shame losing to someone who's like won the whole event. We've had 4 champions across 6 events. So yeah, it's a pretty tough match. But we're gonna see, can MVAKM bring it back? We will go into game 2.